crime is being perpetrated by somebody who is forensically aware and wears gloves, or covers their tracks behind them. And neither is DNA evidence as omnipotent or omnipresent as many people think. There might be no trace at all of an offender left behind at a crime scene, no hair, blood, or semen, nor any other body fluids or tissues. So that building up a genetic profile of an assailant is just not possible. Yet, what if there were another way to connect people and places, to exonerate the innocent and indicate somebody's guilt? What if, aside from fingerprint and DNA evidence, there were other traces left on us that could corroborate one version of events over another? And what if it was so pervasive that no matter how forensically aware a criminal was, they could never quite shake it off? Imagine again that you are back in that winter wood. As you push through the brambles and overhanging branches to reach the body, the sleeve of your coat rubs up against an oak tree, collecting the microscopic spores and pollen that have become impacted in the crevices of the bark. As you scramble down the slope, your boots collect soil smears and crumbs in which are locked the pollen and spores that rained down on this patch of woodland recently, as well as in past seasons. That soil will also contain the multitude of living things that have made the soil their home, or fragments of the dead things that lived there before. As you crouch down to make sure of your discovery, your hair brushes past twigs and leaves hanging over the body, picking up whatever pollen, spores, and other microscopic material has fallen onto their surfaces. Your traces on the landscape, the footprints you leave behind, the hairs and fibres you shed, might be easily obscured or overlooked. But what about the imprint the landscape has left on you? What if someone were able to retrieve and identify those microscopic traces and visualize that place, or another even further afield, from the imprint it has left on your body and clothes? Now imagine you are the killer. What traces of the landscape where you left your victim are you carrying with you, unwittingly, wherever you go? This is where I come in, and where my own story dovetails with the history of forensic detection. In 1994, I was an environmental archaeologist at University College London. Then, things changed. It has been nearly 50 years or more since I began formally studying the world of plants, though the truth is, my love affair with the natural world reaches back much further. Even as a little girl, no matter how much I read about the natural world, I always wanted to know more. There is always so much more to be had. It is still the same for me now. This is frustrating, because you can never reach the summit. Nobody can. The climb is grindingly hard, and it continues forever. I have spent much of my working life hunched over a microscope, scanning sample after sample, trying to determine the mixtures of pollinomorphs, microscopic particles including pollen grains and fungal spores, that have been stained red, embedded in jelly, and spread upon my slides. To the lay observer, what I am looking at might appear nothing more than a chaos of differently shaped blobs and splodges. But to a palynologist, one who studies pollen and other pollinomorphs, these represent elements from the diverse breadth of the natural world. Look at a pollen grain through the lenses of a high-powered microscope, and few people would fail to remark upon the strange, complex beauty of the minuscule world that was revealed to them. One pollen grain might be an orb pitted with tiny holes, while another may be shaped like a dumbbell, its wall perforated with gradations of apertures. As well as having varying kinds and combinations of holes and furrows which, themselves, might be of different size and form, the surface wall of a pollen grain might have intricate ridges of swirls, stripes or wrinkles, or networks of little columns tracing the surface. There might be simple lumps. These may have spines, and even those spines might have spines themselves. The simplicity or complexity of form and sculpturing